On a recent episode of our series, The Price of Freedom, I talked to Vietnam veteran Jerry Harris. He was a diesel mechanic in a land clearing company. He told me about his experiences in the war and his struggles in the years since with PTSD. Today on the show, more with Jerry Harris and his friend Vietnam War Marine Jimmie Coley. We talk about the war and the realities of post-traumatic stress from the war in Vietnam. My name is Josh Roe, and this is Tomorrow Town, Tennessee.
People understand, people know the letters, people know that it exists, but they don't understand, for the most part, what your day in, day out experience with it is.
Right. I use a lot of metaphors. One of them is called cellophane, living in a cellophane world. Because when you come back from the combat zone, you're the person that comes back. The other person that went in there, he's been like put in a closet. It's not the same person. Me, the person that went to Vietnam, and me, the person here and now, is different. He's gone forever. That's the way I see it. I live in a cellophane world. I can dip outside and see everything and touch everything, but it's still not the same as it would be with the other guy that's left behind. He's still in the jungle. That's the way I see it. But I've learned to adjust and make corrections about what's going on in my life, and along with help.
When you say help,
Well, when I came back out of the jungle, it was all about quickness and anger, because I lived in the jungle. I stayed under a dozer at nighttime. We had a lot of incoming, coming in all the time. And then when I was out on the cut, 1,000 mosquitoes bites a day. No change of clothes for 30 days. Just constant harassment by the environment. That is just as much as what the enemy did to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're struggling in all kinds of avenues.
Let's back up a little bit. You said out on a cut. So explain what your job was so people understand what you did.
I was a diesel mechanic. The mechanic, when I got there, the mechanic was gone because I don't know if he got dusted off or what, or ETS, he's back, But anyway, when I got there, I was there, and it was like 30 dozers out there. So my job was to keep them in the cut and make them work to go back into the cut. And the operators too, they worked along with me. So we were individuals. We never were a team. I never was around people. I was individually on my own 5.48 with an M50 machine gun, a case of C's, and just, roaming back and forth where the plows are in the cut. We cut jungle, so that's what we did, cleared the land. And our motto was search and destroy, and that's what we did. We killed everything that was green and whatever was in front of us.
The primary job was to cut back the vegetation and the brush and all that stuff. But you're also fighting a war at the same time.
Right. See, what was interesting is the machinery, the sound is gone. All we had was vision and action with your body, because all the sound was gone. The enemy could be just in the vegetation area where the cut is, laughing, cutting up, yelling or anything. We would never know that because the machinery is loud. I was on a machine that was loud, and so were the operators. And we're individualized. Nobody's together.
You're by yourself?
Yeah.
Like all alone?
Yeah.
What does that do for your mental state of just realizing you're by yourself out there.
Well, you're thinking, any seconds you could die. You could take a bullet or something like that. It's just, you're trying to live another second before something happens. It gets to that point of thinking.
But if you're alone and you can't hear them coming,
you can't see them, can't hear them.
How do you process that?
You don't, I guess. But just think about it. The jungle's there. They're hidden in the jungle. You're coming by. It's just like the rubber ducks, in the water. They float around. You're shooting at them at the you know what I'm talking about? The fair. It's like that. You're sitting ducks all the time like that.
He wasn't alone by himself. One unit in there, he was with the equipment, the crane operators and those folks. But he was individually set by himself to keep the equipment up. So he was with people.
So you have people around you
yes.
in certain ways, at least most of the time.
Well, you take this circle here. We're cutting this area here. Okay, this whole land here. This could be like 20 acres. Okay. Would be spread out. The operators are spread out. They could be one, maybe half a click in front of you, and then one behind you, and 2 or 3 close to where you're at. They're doing the cut. I'm in the clear here, running back and forth, checking on them, and making sure that they're operating okay. So, and I took a lot of there's people that would want to ride with me. This one guy named Dwayne McGriff, he's down in, I forget the name of the town, down here in Alabama. He came out, Coleman, Alabama. You know where that's at?
Yeah.
So he was down there, and from there, and he came out to the cut. And of course, when people come out to the cut, we're all dirty and messed up, and he came out, he had the nice clothes on and all that stuff. He wanted to come out and check the area out and see what it's like. He chose to ride with me, and when he did that, then I really wasn't interested in anybody to ride with me because I don't know what's going to happen, when you go out in the cut. Because as soon as you get out of the NDP, they're not defense perimeter, things happen. Because we had incoming a lot of times during the day in the NDP. So anyway, we got out there, and then I started taking fire from both sides, in the covered area and on the side over here. So I hit the 50 machine gun, it jammed, and then I grabbed my M60 and jumped off. And I see about 30 snakes a day. So when I jump off, I could land on a snake and not know it. They're as scared as I am, probably. So then the RPG comes and goes inside the 548 in the back. That's where he elected to stay. And he took a big blow. His blown a leg off, part of his fingers. He got some spots on his ears, chunks, and just different situations happened to him. It was really sad, but when you're in the war zone, it means nothing to you as far as being sad and caring, because you're trying to take care of yourself at the same time.
Say that part again. You're in a war zone. You know people around you are getting hurt. People you're close to are getting hurt. Do you process it at all?
You don't really process it. You just go on because you're the next victim, living in a second at a time. You know what I mean? It could happen to me anytime. The bullet missed me this time, or the RPG missed this time, but tomorrow it could be, or the next second, because we're in a war zone all the time. Everything's going. And people back in the NDP, all of their weapons are cocked and loaded. There's no safety zone. Everybody's got, everything is just a loaded situation back there. But anyway, when he got hit, I went back, and in the 11th ACR, I don't know if you've heard of them, they were support for us. They came there was one or two of them, you know, running with us there. So they came up, and then the medic came to check on us, and he was damaged pretty bad, and I actually wrote him off from the injuries he had because I saw him. He was yelling at me straight, and he just like totally red, but nothing came out, no sound, you know. So I just dropped away, and the medic got there, and then this happened in September of '70, and he lived to 99. But I wrote him off. But that's just one incident. I had a lot of instances happen, you know, with combat situations. But just talking. So this is why I have PTSD. It's just, you know, and the people on the operators or the dozers and all that, same thing. We all run into all this situations like that with the enemy.
And what year did you go over to Vietnam?
I got there March of '70.
Mm-hmm. And you got Vietnam when? 68?
August of '68. August the 6th, '68.
The first combat scene I had was a young boy. He was blonde-headed from California, blue eyes, you know, and it was the first incoming at the NDP. He took mortar right in the stomach all the way through, and that was my first combat.
And you saw that? You were there?
Yeah, he grabbed me. We both went down. He grabbed me and he said he didn't want to die, and I said, "Well, you're not," you know, or something like that. I don't even know what I said because it's so far back. But, you know, it was all new to me. It was my first rodeo, if you don't look at it that way. So what do you say to somebody like that? I knew it was going to happen, but
Did he die?
then the medic come right there.
Did he die right there with you, or did you get to leave before all that happened?
Well, as a medic came, I was up and I went to the berm for the incoming. So I knew that it happened right afterwards, you know. There's a lot of destruction in the war. A lot of people, body parts ripped off and everything. Under a dozer one night, this guy was screaming, and then looked up and somebody said, "There goes a hand flying by," you know. So I mean, it's just there's all kinds of things that happen in the war zone whenever income is coming in. You just don't know. So that's why I say living in, you know, a second at a time. You just never know when it's going to happen. So all this is embedded into you. So when you come home, it's there. It's with me today. I mean, it's tempered down quite a bit because we're talking about 56 years ago. Is that right? Something like that?
Right at it, 55. Yeah.
Do you have a sense, though, out and about, that we who didn't see these things, have never experienced combat, have never seen someone die next to them, do you understand how different your experience is? You know what I mean? Like when you're talking to someone, do you understand that like you're processing things in a different way than the person you're talking to based on your life experience?
Yes.
The cellophane world keeps all this away from everybody.
Yeah.
Do you follow me on that?
I do. So there's kind of a barrier.
He
There's a
doesn't talk.
distance.
He can't talk. I'm all right. I don't know. I can't talk for him, but yeah, everything's behind the cellophane wall.
Jerry Harris has worked hard to manage his PTSD, and one thing that's helped him, he's told his story through art. He wrote a book of poetry about the war, and he and another artist also made a statue. The statue illustrates the realities of PTSD. In the statue, there are two people. Both are Jerry. One is Jerry today, and there's also a young soldier there who won't let go. He's working now to find a permanent place to display the statue. I have a link to a video story where you can see that statue in the show notes of this episode. And coming soon, I will also have more on Marine Corps veteran Jimmie Coley right here on to Morrowtown, Tennessee. This podcast is a production of News Channel 9, Fox Chattanooga, and Sinclair Broadcast Group Chattanooga. I hope you join me again real soon.